You are listening to Worship Radio International. Or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Worship Radio INT. This is the future.
What is your why? What? Yeah. What is your why? WHY. Do you have a why? If you can have a why, we can find a way. That's what we're going to talk about today on Coaching by Al. I am your host, Al Wilson Jr., and this is Coaching by Al. Thank you so much. Yeah. I always imagine immediately following saying that, the opening that they used to have on the Muppet Show when Kermit would come out and say, "This is the Muppet Show." I always want to do that, but I always restrain myself. But if you ever see me do that, you know why. Again, welcome to the show today. Beautiful day. Every day is a great day. You know that. But I have to say this. First of all, I want to say thank you. A huge thank you to my sponsor for today. That's right. We have a sponsor for today. And the name of that sponsor is Holy Cloud Web Hosting. You want to check them out. Holy Cloud Web Hosting. I use Holy Cloud Web Hosting. I transferred from one of the larger, or probably one of the absolutely best known web hosting sites and email hosting, domain hosting, all of that. Now everything I use goes through Holy Cloud. That's for my personal business. That's also for our church congregation. Holy Cloud Web Hosting. And the way you get to them is going to their website, which is holycloud.us. 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 You can go there. Unlimited business emails they handle. They also give free SSL certificates. So if you understand what SSL is as it relates to a website, then or domain hosting, you understand how expensive that can be, and that comes free with your business email, unlimited business emails. Okay. Also handling website building. So this is a place that you want to go to, and they are our sponsors for today. Thank you so much. I want to ask you the question: what is your why? That's going to be our topic for today. When you start to think about your motivation, your inspiration, how you get things done, why you get things done, what's the reason behind doing what you do? What is your why? I want to talk about that today. And if you are watching, then I want you to just send out to someone, say to someone, hey, listen, Al is on the air. Al is on the internet anyway. Al is talking about a why. And why do you have a why? Why do you need a why? And that's what we're going to talk about. So let somebody know that they are able to catch me right here. If you need the Facebook page to give to somebody, you can send them to Al Wilson Jr., or either it's Al Jr. Wilson, and that's on Facebook. If you're watching perhaps by YouTube at some later date, I still want to see your comments. So it's okay. You can still comment, because you know what? This is timeless information. So it's always going to be relevant. And if somebody watches later on, maybe the comment that you make can make a difference in their life. What is your why? Well, Al, what are you talking about when we get into whys? Well, first of all, I want to acknowledge everyone who is joining me today, and I'm trying to get onto my Facebook page now. I left my glasses at home, so if you see me squinting or something like that, I'm okay. I'm just trying to see. Okay, so I see my brother Darrell Beavers on. Hey, brother, I love you, man. I don't know if you're in Michigan or if you're somewhere out in the rest of the country, but I love you. God bless you. I also see my sister Sarah Ray. God bless you, Sister Sarah. Feeling better, and things are coming along just fine, so God bless you. When I'm talking about a why, I want to ask you, when it comes down to doing what you do, what's your motivation? What is your motivation? Some people say it's my family. My family is my reason. The reason why I do everything I do. Some people say it's because I want to be able to give back to society. Some people say maybe I want to sponsor children somewhere overseas, or maybe you want to just prove to your parents or prove to your relatives, prove to the people that grew up and said you couldn't do something that maybe that's the reason why you want to do whatever it is you're doing. Whatever your reason or your why is, I want to talk about how to contour that just a little bit to make sure that it's as strong as possible, because it is that why that's going to keep propelling you forward when adversity comes, and it will come, when troubles come, and they will come, when challenges come, when hurdles come, and they will come. But when you have a strong enough why, it makes you go forward regardless. Okay. Another way to think about this is when you start to look at what happens, you're going to start asking yourself, is it worth it? Okay. Is it worth it doing what I'm doing? Is all these years I'm going to school worth it? Is all of these hours that I put in worth it at work? Is getting up at 5 in the morning and going for that jog, is it worth it? Is going to church every Sunday worth it? Whatever it is, you need to understand your why. Okay. And when you have your why in place and when it's solid, not just kind of lightly thrown together, but actually considered, then you've got some power for the course. Everybody needs some power. Everybody needs a reason. One of the most interesting things when it comes to action movies, we all love action movies, right? But I'm not talking about just in a fictional world. I'm talking about even in real life, what we consider to be heroes or people who are courageous. We have a tendency to look at the glamorous side of things or the romantic side of what a hero is, but we kind of minimize or skip over the practical side of what a hero is. And the fact is that a person who we consider to be courageous is not courageous because they just lack fear. But write this down. This might be something important to you. It's the conviction in their heart that there is something more important than their fear at stake. Okay? So what do you mean by that? Whatever is happening, it might be something that you're afraid of. But if something else is more important than that fear, then maybe you can move beyond that hang up and do whatever it is you need to do to get the job done. Let me give you a practical example. And I think I've talked about this before, but I think it's still relevant. I also want to say, because they are here with me today, my beautiful wife, my love, my lady, my girl, yo, you better watch your back. You trying to talk to me because she might cut you. No, I shouldn't say that on the air, should I? Can I say that she would cut you if you mess with me. And I would cut you too if you try to mess with her. But my lovely wife, Tarsha, she's here in the studio with us. Well, not exactly in the room, but she's in the building. And she also has with her our lovely daughter, Nala. Y'all keep her in prayer because she's not feeling too well. She's getting better, but she's had this little cough and fever for some time. And so we're just kind of getting her out the house a little bit today, getting a little stir crazy by being indoors. And so we just wanted to get her out, get some fresh air. Sometimes you have to do that. So they're in the house. I just want to say hello, beautiful ladies. I love you so much. And for all of you that are watching again, thank you. So getting back to my point, for those of you who know me, how do men say it? Because men don't say we're scared of spiders, right? We're not going to say that. I'm not going to say I'm scared of spiders. What I'm going to say is that I don't like spiders. Okay? I don't see a purpose for them. I don't see a need for them. I don't see a reason for them. I know a lot of people got questions when they get to heaven that they want to ask God. Why was this way? And what happened with that? And where were the other set of footprints? I ain't going to have any of them questions. My question is going to be, what was up with spiders for real? What was the deal with that? What were they for? What was the whole point? Why did they have to have 8 legs? I don't trust. Okay, let me get back to the point. Get back to the point, Al. The point is that I do not like spiders. Okay, I don't like them. I don't like to think about them. I didn't like Itsy Bitsy when I was little. I don't like spiders at all, especially nowadays. You go into the grocery stores and they got all of the decorations up and everything. Why they always got to have hairy? Okay, get back on topic, Al. Get back to the topic. Okay, the point is that I will not go near spiders. Okay, they live on their side of the world. I live on my side of the house. That's fine with me. I'm not going to bother them. But if one gets close to my daughter, Ah, you see where I'm going now, right? If one gets close to my daughter and I think that she is scared, if I think that she is bothered, if I think that that spider is going to get too close to her, guess what becomes far more important than my not liking spiders? My daughter is far more important than how I feel about a spider at any given moment. So, dad is going to kick in and dad is going to get that spider before it gets my baby. That is my why. You understand what I'm saying? So the point that I'm making here is that you have to have something in your life that is far more important than whatever it is you feel that your weakness is, or far more important than whatever you feel your personal hang up is. Maybe you feel like, okay, I don't have it all together in this particular segment of my life. Maybe I don't have all the finances that I feel like I need. Maybe I don't feel like I have all of the human resource contacts that I need. I don't know enough people, in other words. I don't know any big name people. I don't know any I'm not popular. I don't know any celebrities. I don't know how to necessarily get out there. Maybe I don't feel like I'm the best writer, or maybe I don't feel like I'm the best singer or artist, or whatever it is. Those we can consider to be weaknesses. Okay, if you want to call it that, just for a moment so I can make my point. The thing is that there has to be something that gives you the motivation and the drive to look past what you think you're not good at in order to get done what is necessary for the moment. And if you will take a moment and consider just your family, like I said, with my daughter and the spider, I'm telling you the truth. If my wife and my daughter are gone from the house and I see a big spider in the window, I will be on the other side of the house in a corner, and I am not going near it. But if they're home and I think that spider is too close to my wife or my daughter, I will grab that bad boy with my bare hands and crush it. And I've done it. And the thing is, how in the world do you switch or vacillate from having this personal, not fear, but dislike, to going to all of a sudden this superhero because I have a why. And my why is my daughter's life and safety, my wife's life and safety is far more important than a fear. It's true. It's true. If you think about that with your own family, think about that with your own loved ones, you'll find that it's absolutely real and you're willing to do anything and everything. I remember when I was little and we would be driving in the car. This was before they came out with all the new laws about children had to be in a car seat and children had to be in the back seat and all of this kind of thing. I remember when I was little growing up, and some of you maybe 35, 40 years old and older, remember that you used to drive right in the passenger seat with your parent, right? And we didn't wear seat belts. How about that? But when the car came, if my mother needed to go to an immediate stop, or my father, they had this bionic arm. It is so funny just thinking about it. They had this bionic arm that would shoot out and go across, and it was like running into a steel bar. Okay, and they were blocking us from going forward and hitting the dashboard. That was the seatbelt. Okay, now if you remember that, I need you to type, yeah, I remember that too, Al. Who else is on here? Brother Aaron, I see you, man. What's going on? What's up with rats? So that's your thing, right? Rats, okay. What's up with rats? Turnips, sticker bushes, and mother-in-laws. I can't help you with that one. My mother-in-law is so sweet. I love her so much. Your why are your boys. I absolutely agree, man. And truthfully, I love spiders. God's exterminators. Well, you go right on ahead and love spiders. I ain't with you on that one. If I'd have known you like spiders, we couldn't have been friends. I'm just joking with you. But I get it. I understand exactly what you're saying. So at that moment when we thought that we were in vehicular danger and my mother or my father's arm shot out across me, at that moment, they put me ahead of their own safety. She didn't try to block herself. She tried to block me. That's a why. That's a why. In life, in business, in excelling forward with who you are and what you want to do, you must have a strong why. You must have a strong why. And it has to be that compelling. So some people say, well, I really want to lose weight, but so what's your why? What is your why for wanting to lose weight? Well, because I want to look good. Is that strong enough? Is that strong enough? Because if it was strong enough, then you would already look good, right? As far as you consider yourself looking good. Maybe you already look good, but you think based on what you're looking at in other people's lives, maybe you think that some kind of way you're coming up deficient, which not necessarily is true. Okay. Now, if there's something that's affecting your health as to the reason why you need to lose weight, then for some people, that's a stronger why. But for some people still, just having a better heart rate or better blood pressure or better sugar levels, that's not enough why for them. Can I tell you a bad joke? I'm gonna keep it clean. I'm gonna keep PG. Don't worry. But I remember hearing Les Brown talk about a friend of his that was dealing with a weight issue. Okay, and with all of the talk that they gave him as to the reasons why he needed to lose weight, and he knew why he needed to lose weight, it still didn't compel him to lose weight. He goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, it could affect your lifespan. He said, okay. It could affect your socializing. Okay. It could affect maybe your vision at some point, or it could affect this or that. Okay. He wasn't really interested. Then the man said, it could affect any kids in the room? It could affect other areas of your life. That man fell to his knees and said, help me, please. So that was his why. You see, when you get a why that's strong enough, it will compel you to do some things. I want you to find out what your why is for getting your life on track. You've got to find out what it is. Okay. And believe it or not, as strong as a push, Brother DeAndre, I see you, and Sister Jackie. Hey, Jackie, that's my sister, y'all. As strong as those whys are, it might not necessarily be your family. Sometimes it needs to be for you. Sometimes you need to be your why. But you've got to bring yourself to a place of value. You've got to bring your own self to a place of value. So that's one of the things that a person like me, a coach, does, is to help you see the value that is in yourself, to help you see what your strengths are. And let me say this clearly so you can understand. That does not mean overlooking or overshadowing or not dealing with what you feel like your weaknesses are. When I say finding out what your strengths are, you will find out that some of the things that you're good at is a strength. You'll also find out, this is a tweetable moment, you'll also find out that some of the things that you are not good at is also a strength. Man, yeah, you need to write that down. You need to poster that on your wall, okay? Sometimes your talents, your gifts, your natural skills are strengths. Sometimes they can be weaknesses. Sometimes your weaknesses, the things that you're not good at, the things that you don't know, the things that you're not sure of, those can be strengths in disguise. And my goal, my hope is that you will start to look at all that encompasses your life and start to determine, maybe we can make some columns and start writing down. You know how some people put down pros and cons? You start to write down strengths and weaknesses. Make a line on your paper. Maybe you can put it on your phone. Put in one column strengths. Put in one column weaknesses, and start to list what you feel that your strengths and your weaknesses are. I'm not saying this to sound good. I'm asking you to actually do it. Brother DeAndre, man, we got to talk. I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to get back to what I'm saying. Put down your strengths and put down your weaknesses. And this is the reason why I say that. If you put down your strengths and your weaknesses and you start to look at them, most likely what you're going to do is compare them. You're going to put down one strength over here, and then you're going to put in maybe a negative to say this is the weakness that relates to this strength. What most people will not do is mix that column up. It'll make more sense to what I'm saying in just a moment. But the reason why I'm saying it is this. If you look at everything, comprise everything, and look objectively at it, don't look at it as I'm gonna like this column and I'm gonna hate this column because this is all the bad attributes of myself. Don't do that this particular time. This time, when you look at both columns, turn off the filters in your mind about what you think is good and what you think is bad, what you think is right and what you think is wrong, and look at it wholly so that you can see yourself wholly. Because guess why? You are a whole person. You are not half a person. You are not part of a person. You are not 3/4 of a person. You are a whole person. And all of that makes you up. And I'm not saying that you have to keep everything that's in that column that you feel is a weakness. What it is to help you paint a picture better to yourself of who you really are and acknowledge who you are. That's the biggest part of starting to find your why. You have to acknowledge who you are. You have to acknowledge what you want. You have to acknowledge what you desire. You have to acknowledge what you're not good at. You have to acknowledge. And okay, so Al, before we even get any further, help me understand something here. How can a weakness be a strength? Let's say that you feel like, okay, I'm very good at helping others. I'm very good at helping others find out what it is that they can do, or I'm a great person at if you tell me you need to get something done, I can do it. Okay, maybe it's hard for me to do it in my own personal life. I don't know where to start, but I can help you. So that's a weakness. Somebody would say, I'm not good at being a self-starter. Okay. Let's say that's one of the weaknesses you put down. Now, Al, how is it that that's a strength? The reason why that's a strength is because if you will operate and be appreciative of the gift that you have to be able to help other people get what they need done in their life, you will find out that your quote unquote weakness for yourself, if you do that well for somebody else. Let me try to clear it in here. Bring it in a little clearer. Let's say I am not good at taking care of finances. Let's say that. Okay. Now let's say you are great at helping others take care of finances, even if you are not good at taking care of your own finances. You see what I'm saying? Everybody with me? So you say that's a weakness of mine. I can't take care of finances, but I'm good at helping somebody else with theirs. How does that become a strength? Because if you will take that ability that you have and you go ahead and help other people manage their finances properly, then what happens is, and it happens, you'll find it happen. You will find somebody else who's maybe not necessarily good at taking care of their finances, but they're great at helping you take care of yours. Now, what have you done? Because you put yourself out there and you allowed yourself to be useful in somebody else's life, even when it seems like it's not necessarily helpful or useful to you, you will attract to you someone else who is able to do the same thing for you. Maybe you're saying, well, I'm not a good person at coming up with brand new ideas. I can facilitate meetings, but I don't come up with brand new ideas that well. I'm not real quick like that when, in ingenuity and creativity and spontaneity. I'm not that person. Do you know some of the greatest leaders in the world, not just in this generation, but in generations far back, have built their empires, have built their business empires on having people around them that are smarter than them. So what seems to be a weakness actually turns into a strength, because most people who might not necessarily be the smartest person at the boardroom table might be very good at finding people who are able to compensate and do what they don't feel that they can do well. Have you ever heard of that happen? If so, leave a comment, drop a comment right now. Maybe you have an example of something you've seen where someone is not necessarily the brightest tool in the refrigerator, but they got some incredible people around them that make them look great. Okay. I often tell people that, hey, my dear cousin, Anita, and First Lady Anita, I should say, or Lady Anita, she's my cousin, Apostle Victor Johnson's wife in Arkansas, in Stuttgart, Victor's Empowerment Center. I love you both. And check out her website as well. Check out her Facebook page. Anita Johnson, Anita Nesby Johnson, Chandelier. Check it out. She's got some incredible T-shirts on sale right now. Love you, love you so much. Do you see what I'm saying though? It's not necessarily a weakness. It depends on how you're looking at it. So what I want to do is help change your perspective maybe on some things that you think are weaknesses. And again, the reason why I'm talking about all of this is because we need to develop a much stronger why. Why is going to push you past your fear? Why is going to push you past your hesitation? Why is going to push you past your roadblocks, your personal mental roadblocks as to why you can't do something if you have a strong enough why? So I'm asking for those of you who are here and those of you who are still watching, what is your why? My brother Aaron already put down that his sons are his why. The reason why he does what he does, the reason why he propels and pushes himself to become better, to become stronger, whatever it is, the reason why he works hard, the reason why he lives the way he lives, the reason why he holds the values and the morals that he holds is because of the lifestyle that he wants for his sons, the type of character that he maybe wants to develop in his sons. And I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I'm asking you to do the same thing. I'm asking you to just list down what your why is. I see my cousin Doris. Hey, Doris. And she says, makeup phenom. I don't even know if I'm saying this right. Booby Brown said she surrounds herself with people who know how to organize. There you go. Exactly. That's the point. So if you feel like your particular weakness is that you're not very well organized, then you just trying to be a better person and helping somebody, you will attract to you someone who is great at organizing. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, I tell people all the time, my wife is the brains of this outfit. I'm the guy that picks things. I pick things up and put them down. I pick things up and put them down. She's smart. She's intelligent. She has the ability to organize amazingly. She can walk into a room that looks absolutely cluttered. And that's actually a business of hers. She can walk into a room that's absolutely cluttered, craziness all over the place, and she can make it look so organized in a couple hours. You walk back in and think that you are sitting somewhere in the Oval Office. That's how good she is. She's just that good. Now, if I walk in and I see a crazy mess, I'm gonna turn around and walk back out because I just don't see it. And sometimes that's the thing. Now, whereas that's an issue with me, I also have as a strength, I have vision. I can see kind of far out and see what's down the road, see what I want to see happening. But I get a little crusty when it comes to getting the details in oriented. So we make a very good team because she helps me with the details. She helps out. Hey, okay, you want to do what? Okay, so then we need to do this, and this. We can do this, and that. And whereas I can help other people with it, sometimes it's difficult for myself. So all of us have that. But your why needs to be the reason why you push. So what is my why? I've got several whys. One, my daughter. Okay, my daughter, I want to make sure that my daughter has a very strong and solid foundation as to what she sees is possible. What she sees is possible. Both my wife and I, we have that desire to make sure that she sees that it is possible to be a young African American young lady and have a business mindset. Not to be mean, not to be harsh, not to be rude or dogmatic toward people, but to know that, yes, you can be an entrepreneur. You can work for yourself. You don't necessarily have to do the 40-40 paradigm. And I'm talking about 40 years of working and then get 40% of what you made for those 40 years at retirement. I'm talking about having your own business, something that fills you up, something that you enjoy doing, something that you can do even without getting paid because you love it, operating inside of your passion, but then also understanding how to monetize that. So that's a why for us. Okay. So then if she sees that growing up and she sees mom and dad are doing business, mom and dad are making phone calls, mom and dad are connecting with people, mom and dad are doing paperwork, and mom and dad are planning, and mom and dad are making moves, then the lid is taken off the jar for her. She says, oh yeah, I can do that. I've grown up around that. I've seen that. Many times the reason why many of us in our generation did not necessarily take that route until much later in life was because maybe you didn't see it with your parents. Maybe you didn't see it around in your household much. Okay. Maybe you grew up in a family where the plan was, and I'm not knocking it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. Maybe what you saw was you go to work, you work every day, and that's that. You don't miss a day of work. You go to work, you work every day. That's it. You pay the bills, you go to work, you work every day. So when you're growing up, your mindset is, for some reason, I don't know why, but I just feel much more safe if I just go to work every day, pay my bills. Go to work every day, pay my bills. I feel much more safe in that. Whereas somebody else who saw business, who saw entrepreneurship, who saw expansion, growing up in their household, they are far more open to a lot more things. It's kind of like the difference between living. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. I see some more comments, and I want to make sure I acknowledge those comments. My cousin Doris also said Tracy Simpson colors, and I'm please forgive me. I left my glasses at home, so I'm trying to read this. But it says check this message out right now. Great message. This is my friend. I'm sorry. You talking about me? You want me to say something? Okay. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's what my cousin Anita said. Absolutely. So don't worry about what you feel your weaknesses are. Surround yourself with people. Some of the greatest minds have done that. And if I start naming names, you would know them very well. But let's talk about a few. Bill Gates. Let's talk about the lead person, CEO for years, the starter of Apple. Okay, let's talk about Warren Buffett. Let's talk about our own president. Okay, you got to have people around you who know how to do things. Why? Because if you're the person coming up, and this is a safety reason right here. Let me bring this down. This is a safety reason. If you're the person that's coming up with all of the ideas, if you're the person that's coming up with all the ingenuity, if you're the person that's coming up with all the details and the plans on how to get it done, if you're the person that's trying to see the future and make a vision cast and making the mission statement and if you're the person that's trying to do all of that, guess what's going to happen in 2 or 3 years? You're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. You got to make the call. Doesn't that sound like the little red hen? I got to go and cut the wheat, and I got to sift the wheat, then I got to roll the flour, I got to bake the bread, and then you're going to come and eat, huh? No, that ain't happening. I'm sorry. No, so you need, for your own safety, surround yourself with some people that can help you with your, what you call weaknesses. But first, you got to develop your why on why you're doing it. I tell you, money is not going to be a strong enough why. I'm going to say that out front now. If you agree with that, let me know. Money is not going to be a strong enough why. Miss Dominate always, hey, Alita, what's going on, lady? It's good to see you. Money is not going to be a strong enough why. Why do you say that, Al? Isn't that the whole purpose? No, because you need to realize the reason why you're working for the money. The money is just a byproduct of what it is that you're really actually going after. What is it that you're going after when you work for the money, so to speak? You think you're working for that paycheck? No, you're working for what that paycheck is going to provide you, a little slice of peace, a way to make sure that you have some issues and concerns off of your mind. It's not about so that I can pay this bill and pay that bill. No, it's not about paying the DTE bill. It's about making sure that you don't have to live in a dark room. It's not about paying the consumer's energy bill. It's about making sure that you have a comfortable climate to live in. That's peace of mind. What you're working for is peace of mind. So that start there with a why, maybe, as to the reason why you're working so hard. I want some peace. Okay. When you start to find yourself becoming more and more comfortable talking about what it is that you want, then you can get somewhere. Many of us have been taught, especially in my generation age, that you don't want to be selfish in any kind of way. You can't think about yourself. Don't think about yourself. Put yourself on the back burner. I don't know how we got into that. I mean, I understand a little bit because we were trying to teach people how to be considerate of others. But what they forgot to tell you is that you are just as important as those people that you're thinking about. You are just important as those people that you are working about. You are just as important. So you have to think about yourself too. And that means you've got to answer a tough question. What is it that you really want? And then build it. Build your why. Okay. Some of you, I'm still looking for some reasons as to what's your why. Why do you do what you do? What do you have that's going to keep you moving forward? Because let's talk about it for real. Let's be honest. How much time do I have here? Let's be honest. You know as well as I do that obstacles are going to pop up. The moment you get started, we talked about it maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Obstacles are going to pop up. Yeah, challenges are going to pop up. What is your why? When you submit that proposal and they send it back and say, I don't think we're going to do this. Do you stop right there? No. You've got to have a reason in your heart that's strong enough to say, you know what? I'm going to try it again, and maybe I can do it this way. Or maybe I can reach out to someone and find out what is it that I did wrong in this particular proposal, and how can I rewrite it so that I can send it back again and it get approved. What is your why? If you're sending a book to a publisher and the publisher says, no, thank you, we don't see a need for it. Do you take that in personally and say, oh, well, I guess it just isn't meant to happen? Or do you find another publisher? And do you find as many publishers as it takes? As Mark Victor Hansen did with Chicken Soup for the Soul, one of the greatest selling book lines of all time. He did not stop after, I don't know how many rejections, over 100 and something rejections from different publishers. And then he finds one who says, yeah, we'll take a chance on this little Chicken Soup book, whatever it is. And now it's millions of copies sold, hundreds of languages. You see what I'm saying? So what is your why? What's the reason? What's the reason? I want to hear it. If you don't mind sharing it, write it down, because maybe your why will inspire somebody else. Maybe your why will give someone else an idea of how to develop theirs. So that's where you want to start. First of all, start with being honest with yourself as to create your why. Secondly, think about what it is that you're really going after. What's the real reason behind it? Thirdly, start to consider how it's going to affect you. And I'm not just talking about you as of right now, but how is it going to affect you perpetually? What is the legacy? Some people, maybe your why could be, I want to make a difference in this world. I want to leave my mark in this world before I transition on to that wonderful other by and by realm. Okay. What is your why? What is your why? I know somebody's got some. Let's see. Am I seeing any whys yet? Come on, y'all. Now I know y'all got some more whys than this. Chandrika, hey, what's going on, cuz? God bless you. What is your why? What's your reason? Do you have a reason? Do you have a reason? Do you have a reason? Think about it. Think about it. It's got to be more than, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. There's a lot of people who are living out their life just based on what somebody else thinks they should be doing. And then you get to a point where you find out, man, this isn't what I wanted at all. And I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot, but I remember a dear friend of mine telling me that the reason why they went after the degree in school that they went after was because they were really trying to impress their parent with getting this degree, because they felt like, well, if I get this degree and my parent is interested in this degree, then maybe that'll develop a stronger relationship between the two of us. Until they found out later on that it still didn't help after thousands of dollars spent on this particular degree. And then it didn't enhance the relationship anymore. It was still strained. It was, but the problem was that now this person had to figure out what were they going to do with the rest of their life, because they really didn't have an interest in that degree anyway. They didn't have an interest in that field or study. They were doing something for somebody else. So it wasn't a strong enough why. The reason why you know you have a strong why in your life is because whatever happens, come tough times, come good times, your why will stand strong. For those of you who have children, and for those of you who have loved ones, and I'm sure all of us do, then when you start to develop your why, maybe if it is because of your children, or maybe it's because of your spouse, or maybe it's because of what you consider to be a higher calling in your life, it gives you permission. It gives you fuel. It gives you literal strength. Do you know that when you have a strong enough why, you don't necessarily need caffeine? While I'm drinking a coffee, right? I have a strong why. I really do. But it's so good sometimes. It's just nice. It's nice and tingly and everything. But I'm talking about for those of you who maybe sometimes need that caffeine as a boost to get you up and going because you just feel like your life is just so, oh, here we go again. Oh my goodness. Why? So you got to get something to get you started. If you develop a strong why in your life, you can kick this to the curb. I'm a social. I tell people I'm a social coffee drinker. I don't drink coffee all the time. My wife will tell you this cup right here could literally last me all day. Just one. Only reason why I got into drinking coffee, you know, that time when like what was that movie Love Jones came out and everybody was doing the coffee scene, the coffee shop scene or whatever. That's kind of when I got into it. I was just getting into theater real strong at that time, and there was a coffee house not far from the theater that I was putting on a show at. And so I went in there and I fell in love with it. They had jazz and they had nice music. It was a nice ambiance. So that's kind of how I got into coffee, but I really don't drink it that often. My point is, if you feel like your life is just so mundane and you need something like that to get you boosted or started in the morning, maybe you need to go back and reevaluate the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And if it's not strong enough, if it's not compelling enough for you, maybe it's because you don't believe in it as strongly as you did at one point. Or maybe you never did and you're just coming to realize it, or maybe you never thought about it. Things have just been going over and over and over and over for so long that you never took a moment just to say, hey, why am I going to work so why am I in this career field? Do I even like what I'm doing? Is it just because it's putting food on the table? Is it just because it's putting clothes on me and keeping a roof over my head? And sometimes you have to deal with what you have to deal with until you can do better. But if you start now, you can take a few minutes out of every day and you can write down, this is a why. I want to see myself in a new light. I want my children to see me successful. I want to prove to myself that I am as passionate and powerful as I really think I am. Because you have, let me see, does somebody else write down? Pastor Grover Cross, my brother, I love you, man. Good to see you on here. Thank you for joining us. Pastor G says, my why is my God, my wife, my kids. That's why enough for me. You understand? So he's got a core in place, if you will. Some of you feel like, well, maybe I don't have a core. What is a core? A core can be a why. A core is your reasons for doing what you're doing. A core is your priority. So let me tell you what my core is, okay? And this is something that we share with the men at God's Holy Temple Church. This is something that we talk about. This is something that we try to get all the men on track with having until they can develop their own. It's kind of like a springboard for a core. And it is God, family, ministry, vocation. Say it with me. God is first. Family is second. Ministry is third. Vocation is last. Somebody says, well, that's interesting. I thought maybe it was God, ministry. No. If you have God at your main priority spot, your family should be second. I tell people who come to God's Holy Temple Church and who operate in God's Holy Temple Church, don't even think about trying to serve in this church if you're neglecting your family. Don't even try to do it. No. Don't try to use God as an excuse to put your family on the back burner. No, your first responsibility is to your family. Your first responsibility after God is to your family. So it's God, family, ministry, then vocation. Vocation is last. Well, shouldn't that be a priority, a high priority? Let me show you how it works. Your first responsibility should be to make sure that you are doing what you need to do in the eyes of God, your creator. The second one is to make sure that you are doing right by your family, to do all that you can for your family, to be a good representation of your family, to be a good example for your family, to be a good strengthening agent to your family, not sucking all the juice out, but putting something back into your family. Then ministry after that, how you serve others, how you serve society, how you serve community, how you serve the world in general. Then vocation. It's not that vocation isn't important, but based on the scale, if God calls on me, my job should come second. If my family needs me, my job has to wait in line. If ministry calls, I have to consider this is part of my assignment. This is part of my purpose. I'm going to handle that first. It doesn't mean the job isn't important or your vocation isn't important. It means that in the order of priority, that's how it should go. So if you don't have a core yet, if you don't have a why yet, maybe you can start using that one until you develop one of your own. God, family, ministry, vocation. I definitely recommend to all the brothers who maybe don't have one to use that template until you develop one of your own that's going to be very similar. But that should at least be the center of it. That should be the skeletal structure. If you agree with that and you feel like maybe I already have a core and maybe I can share that with somebody else, let me know that that's something that you enjoy or that you will enjoy using, or at least you'll share that with somebody else. I'd appreciate knowing. Hey, Portia, I haven't seen you in so long. How you doing? You all right? I don't know where you're working at now. We used to work together, y'all. But very, very, very wonderful lady, and two children that are growing like giants. Well, I mean, of course, she ain't short herself, but it's good seeing you. It's good seeing you. So let me see. Where am I at on time? Man, I'm already, I'm already over. I am already over that fast. What are we going to do? Are we going to talk for a few more minutes then, since we've already kind of pushed the envelope? If you're just joining us for any reason, I'm talking about finding your why. What's your reason for being? What's your reason for doing what you do on a daily basis? Is it your children? Is it your spouse? Is it your, maybe you want to give to a cause. Maybe you want to, what is it? What is it? And is it strong enough to keep you balanced? Is it strong enough to keep you moving forward regardless of what happens? If my why is to get to my family and they're in another country and maybe they're being held against their will, my why to get to them is strong enough to where if I need to, I will hitchhike. I will get in a canoe and paddle across the English Channel if I need to. If I need to swim in salt water across the Atlantic, you better believe if that's the only option I feel like I have, I'm going to do it. Maybe that's an extreme instance or circumstance or example, but you have to have that same kind of why as to why you get up every morning. If you have a strong why in your life and you develop it, and it starts by writing down what you really desire for yourself, and maybe writing down what you really desire for your household, whether that's because you're single or because you have a family, what's important to your household, it will give you energy. You need to have something that's going to keep you up late at night because you're so full of energy thinking about it. You need to have something that's going to wake you up early in the morning because you're so full of energy thinking about it. It'll give you strength. It will give you strength. It literally will. You see? So that's what I was talking about today. I hope that you will start to work on your why. Again, my why is my wife, my daughter. Absolutely powerful for me. They compel me to be a better man. I want my wife to see me as a man, not just to see me as a man. It's not just about the image, but I want her to know in her heart that I am doing my best to follow the lead of God for my family. I want her to see that I am not just talking the talk, but I'm walking the walk, that I am a man of prayer. I want her to know that. So I don't just talk about praying, I pray. We pray. She sees me pray. And she prays with me. We pray together. I want my daughter to see that. I want her to see that it's not just an element of life, but it is life. That prayer is life. You see what I'm saying? I need her to see that. So who I am and what I am doing my best to become is so that for posterity's sake, for the generations that will come after me, I will develop an example or a template that they can live by that will give them strength all of their days. You see? I don't want them to have to start over from scratch. I don't want my daughter to have to start over from scratch. Many times we, especially in the African American community, have to start over from scratch every generation because there was nothing put up. There was no pot to pull from when it became our time. I want her to have some funds. I want her to have some contacts. I want her to have some resources ready so that when she gets ready to go out and explore the world and find out who she is, that she's got resources to pull from. Not spoiling her, but giving her an opportunity to have a platform and a base and a foundation that she can stand strong on and find out who she is. It makes a difference. And I want that foundation, I want that platform to be a platform of love. I want her to be good in business. I want her to be shrewd in business. And I don't mean cutthroat. I'm talking about very smart, very savvy. That's what that word means. But I want her to have it from a foundation of love. You see? If you have a foundation of love and you're good in business, you will think about people while you are making smart business decisions. You will be considerate of people even though you're making important business decisions. So we need that. We need that foundation of love. So that's one of my reasons. What are yours? You still have a couple minutes to write them down. Write them down right here in the comments section and just say, hey, Al, I hear what you're saying. Here's my why. Whatever that is, don't be afraid. If you feel like it's not as strong as somebody else's, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. This is all about helping you to develop you. We all start somewhere. Nobody starts at the top and goes sideways. You got to work from the bottom and go up. Okay? So put your why out there and then look at it and then ask yourself some questions about it. Is it strong enough? Or maybe you just say, I never really thought about it. I don't think I wrote one down. I mean, I know why I want no, write it down and then you can start from there and you can develop it and you can get it so strong that it will keep you moving forward. Those days when you feel like getting up and saying, you know what, I just can't do it today. I can't do it. I just don't feel it. You look at that why and you say, oh yeah, let me get to work. One of my brothers, and I know Pastor G would agree with me on this. He said, never do anything because you feel like it. Do it because you know it needs to be done. Because the moment you don't feel like it, you won't do it. So whether that's taking care of your personal health, whether that's maybe just going out to fix a flat tire, or maybe you need to paint this or do that, whatever it is, do what you need to do because it needs to be done, not because you feel like it or don't feel like it. If you keep that up, it'll become a habit in your life, and your habits are what drive you. Your habits are actually your engine. Okay? Sometimes we need some better habits. And maybe your children need to see it. Maybe people around you need to see it. Maybe you don't have any children per se. Somebody is watching you. Somebody's always watching. And you don't know how effective you can be in their life just by you being as effective as you can be in your own life. Okay? So stop looking at, I have this strength and I have this weakness. List them. Look at yourself as a whole person and realize that some strengths are weaknesses. In other words, some of the weaknesses that you think you have really are strengths if you look at them as a whole. Okay? You can do it. You can do it. I don't know how to cook that well, maybe you're saying. That's a weakness. Maybe it could be a strength because maybe it will attract somebody to you that can cook. I'm just saying. Then it'll become a really good strength. Then you need to lower the strength because you're eating too good. You see? So let me stop. I thank everybody who has come on board. I see my dear friend, Miss Dominate. I'm not going to give your name over and over just in case you don't want people to know who you are. But she says, my why is Jesus, my family. They keep me going. That's a beautiful reason. That's a beautiful why. That is absolutely beautiful. And I encourage you and thank you so much for sharing that with us. What I'm also going to ask you to do is then dial it in a little bit closer if you can. Get a little bit more specific on why that is your why. And I think you will open up yourself to a whole nother realm of energy and strength that maybe you didn't even realize was there. Sometimes athletes, when they start really training with a coach, find out that there's muscles that they didn't even realize they had. Why? Because they start hurting. But when you start to develop those muscles as well, now it's giving strength to your larger muscles that are going to give you an opportunity and an edge to do even better. Who else do we have here? Yeah, that's right, Brother DeAndre. My cousin says, Anita says, my why is my family, VEC family, or Victor's Empowerment Center. That's the church that she co-pastors with her husband, and those who are depending on me to do something they haven't seen done. That is incredible. That is quite selfless as well. That's what we need. That's what we're talking about. You being as great as you are and being all that you've been created to be is greatness is going to help somebody else find out how great they can be, because maybe they never thought about doing what they did until they saw you do it. And now they find a reason. It's kind of like an auto manufacturer. Okay, Ford, GM, Chrysler, they don't make all the parts that they use. But the fact that somebody said, I need to make a car, somebody else said, hey, you know what? I can provide the wheels for that car. Somebody else said, I can provide the muffler for that car. Somebody said, I can provide the engine for that car. Somebody said, I can provide the glass for that car. And now here, their greatness developed in what they were able to do just by being a part of something that somebody else started. You see what I'm saying? You have the ability to be that person. You can be the Ford or the GM or the Chrysler. And just you starting your vision, somebody else can say, you know what? I know how to contribute to that. And they may find their greatness in that. Okay, who else do we have here? She said, you can say my name. Alita. All right. And Brother DeAndre says, and I only got about a minute or two left. Brother DeAndre says, my why is my wife and children. Working on retiring my wife, leaving an entrepreneurial legacy. That is beautiful. Hey, man, you're gonna start something talking about you're going to retire your wife. All these brothers are going to be like, ooh. And then, the wives going to be looking like, DeAndre said he going to retire his wife. What? And then Janet going to jump out. What have you done for me lately? That's what all the women going to be saying to their husband. But I hear you, brother. That's right. The sooner you can get your wife away from working, the better. And then you can tell her, well, now when I come home from work, okay, let me move on. Your why should be so strong that it makes you cry. That's what Brother DeAndre. See, man, that's what I'm talking about. Your why I can't say it any better myself, but I'll try anyway. Your why should be so strong that it makes you cry. Matter of fact, Brother DeAndre, let's set something up so you can come on the show and talk about that. One of the things I love about Brother DeAndre Ford's show, and he's in here, he also has a show right on Worship Radio International. He has a show right here, and I want you to come on because some of the topics that you discuss, some of the affirmations that you share with your audience at the beginning of your program and sometimes throughout, those are very powerful affirmations, and I hope it can help maybe direct someone or guide someone who's watching on this particular program. And I'm not so big as to think I got all of the answers and I got all of the proof and I got all of the study. No, Brother DeAndre is great at it. So instead of me trying to reinvent the wheel, how about we get together and we do a show together and you share with the people the information that you have and the listeners can benefit from it. Okay? I would love to see that happen. Okay, so that's it for me. I got to stop. It's 12:59. We're about to get out of here. I always try to appreciate and respect your time. So we're going to get going. I thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a blessing and donate to this show, I'm asking two things. One, that you go to who's hosting or who's sponsoring my show today. That's the word I'm trying to say. Who's sponsoring my show today, which is Holy Cloud Web Hosting. Holy Cloud Web Hosting. If you have a need for a website, if you have a need for emails, business emails, this is who you want to go to. If you need a domain name so you can start it, maybe you say I have an idea for a domain name, but I don't know who to go to. Go to Holy Cloud Web Hosting. They take care of everything. And how you get there is the website is holycloud.us. Write it down, holycloud.us. If you need a website, if you need emails, they give unlimited emails, all for the same price. Unlimited business emails. And they give free SSL certificates. If you understand what that means, those of you who are web hosting or developing, or those of you who have looked at prices on other web hosting websites, you understand what those SSL certificates mean. It protects you as the owner of the domain so that other people don't have to find out your information and try to do all kind of crazy things to you. They give those free with their domains and web hosting. So contact them, holycloud.us. Okay. Also, if you would like to support this show, you can go to Coaching by Al LLC on your Cash App. That's $ Coaching by Al LLC on your Cash App, and leave a donation of any amount. And it'll be a blessing to help make sure this show keeps going forward. Thank you again, everyone who participated. You are a part of this, and you are helping your community, your village. That's what we are. Help your community, help your village. Every time you put a comment in there, every time you share this, every time you like it, you are helping to build your village. God bless you. I love you. I'll see you next time.
You are listening to Worship Radio International, the world's #1 online Christian radio station. Check out our website at www.worshipradio.faith, or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Worship Radio INT. This is the future.